Hello, everybody. This is Fraser here from Microprose. Now, I have been promising this for quite some time now, but I think it's time to do it. It's that long one. It's the gameplay that we don't know how long it will last. It could last 30 minutes or 45 minutes or an hour. We have been known to do one that's 2.5 hours long, but hopefully that won't be happening today because we're doing two campaigns, but they'll be separated. So you'll see this one first, and then you'll see the other one later, or at the same time, but on two different channels on Steam. And the game we're covering is Strategos, and I have the developer with me, Gabe, with me, and we're going to be going through lots and lots of things since the game has been launched, and all those other things that will come to mind as we're chatting. So, hello, man. How you doing?
Hey, good. How are you?
I'm doing good.
Okay, great. Yeah, it's been almost a few weeks since launch now, and we've been working hard on lots of patches and updates, responding to feedback, improving localization, improving the quick start guide, updating the campaign UI. The campaign in particular, we've been devoting a lot of time to updating. And of course, we've got the roadmap up discussing how we'll be finalizing and localizing that campaign over a few months. And once that's all good to go for the base of the map-based campaign, we'll extend out to many more maps and different theaters of operation across time for different campaigns, as well as adding chariots, which is the one big unit type still missing, which will enable
Mhm.
us to add early Gallic and ancient British and Indian armies and all kinds of new armies as well once those are in. So that will be exciting too.
So, since we've been a few weeks now since we launched it, what's the feedback been like?
Feedback's been good. We've got very positive reviews. We've got thousands of people who've bought the game. It's going well, and we're getting constant feedback uh, on Steam and in the Discord. And I try to reply and collect all that information and update and patch the game as needed. So there's been all kinds of updates since then. You can check on the Steam news section, and we've got lots of mixes of patches and hot fixes coming in. So always making it better.
Cool. And also, we could also talk about the roadmap as we're going through bits and pieces of this, but what to explain to people what's coming next so that are sitting listening to this very conversation as we speak, if they haven't actually been and looked at the roadmap, which I suggest you do.
Yeah, yeah, sure. So in the short term for the roadmap, we're looking at more and improved achievements. We already improved the quick start guide, um, making more guides and tutorials and improvements there for onboarding people onto the game. Expanding the mechanics and fixing up the first map-based campaign, the Sicily campaign, which has already improved a
Mhm.
lot since launch, and just generally responding to player feedback, fixing bugs, localization problems. We've overhauled most of the localization in the last few weeks, and any accessibility issues, difficulty with colors and so on, fixing up banner colors that are too close together and difficult to see. And then midterm, in the next few months, we'll move further into more map-based campaigns, in more theaters of war. We've got the current one in Sicily, but we're looking to make more in Italy and Anatolia and Egypt and so on. And a few different wars could potentially fit in all these different theaters. More units and armies for the new chariots that are upcoming, an expansion of existing rosters to fit those. And always also looking at AI, sound effects, visuals, any kind of feedback there. And then much longer
Cool.
term, we could look at some of the uh, more time consuming content to create, like new battle maps, many more campaigns, final polish before release and all that kind of thing.
Sweet. So, which mission or campaign or which game are we going to play? There's so much to choose from in different words.
Let's go ahead and look at the map-based campaign. So currently, if you go to campaigns, you've got all these text-based campaigns here with a series of battles, like where you can choose the Peloponnesian War and fight through mini battles of that, kind of in and around the Peloponnesian War. But today, let's look actually at the map-based campaign. The first one is smaller theater of war, the First Punic War. Between Rome and Carthage. Not the more famous Second Punic War, but for this first campaign, keeping a smaller scope. on Sicily here, and you can play as the Romans or the Carthaginians. And the objective is more or less to conquer Sicily and take the enemy capital. So if we start the campaign here, it's a tabletop design with a map that's like a series of nodes that you can move your armies along on this kind of operational level of war here. You start out able to do some diplomacy rolling, standard dice rolls to take a few extra settlements in this kind of planning phase here. Um, let's see, so we've taken that city. Been adding more sound effects, better UI, clearer roll tables and outcomes and things like that. Here you can prioritize what sort of units you want, in this case, the Senate to send us. So let's prioritize, let's have a cavalry, more cavalry general for our first army there, and switch it up to
Well,
more
actually, hold on.
GREI.
So I was going to say, with that, does that mean you can really change literally the style of battle between each one of those like city states and stuff like that? So you could actually kind of go, well, the city's not so big, it's more rural, so I'll actually go with some more heavy cavalry and stuff like this.
This is
And
the
so can you?
generation of the initial
Mm,
armies, which you can move across the map, and then individual settlements can provide allies as well. So if I generate this army for myself, and then the AI will make its selections, the AI actually plays the game exactly the same as the player. It more or less clicks the same buttons and just plays the same
mm,
game as you. It doesn't have any special advantages. So we can place our armies here. I'll put one near their territory and kind of one on this port here. Maybe we can do a fleet move, which is kind of a big, more dangerous move. The AI has
mm.
placed their armies, and then through the course of the campaigning season, you can do diplomacy, which you can also do in the off season with built up momentum from winning battles and such. You can march your armies along. You can do fleet moves, which is like uh, long distance from port to port moves with a risk of losing men, and you can besiege settlements, which is a little bit faster and a little bit more risky. But if we start out here and we just do some, you've got standard tabletop style roles where, this settlement is Greek. You can see the
Mm.
native faction Greek there in the bottom tooltip. You can see what kind of units it can support you with if you fight a battle nearby. And you can see on the diplomacy roll table, Greeks in this campaign are more amenable to the Romans than to the Carthaginians. And I also have a friendly army adjacent to this settlement, so I get a +3 on the roll. So I've got a decent chance here. And I did take the city. So there's
Mm.
kind of a period early in the campaign where it's more about diplomacy rolls first, and then as you begin to consolidate more, you'll get closer to one another and be more likely. Here I rolled well, um, friendly settlement and good quality roads, and my general here is a drill master. Your general has various traits, which also improves your marching roll. So I actually rolled to be able to move again. If you see the roll outcome there, 9+ is a move and
Yeah.
continue, and we rolled a 7 + 3 for 10. So we can move again. Let's move closer. And in fact, we rolled well again, so we can move another time. Yep. And then we just rolled well enough to finish that final move. And now the Carthaginians are moving up. They may be moving up to us. It's hard to say. I'll besiege this settlement here. Hopefully I'll take it because then I could get some support in an upcoming battle. Nope, siege continues. I've actually kind of extended a little bit too much here. See, now what's going to happen. I was just kind of trying to show you some moves there, but the AI has caught me unawares here. So now the AI is actually going to have all the armies that are at or adjacent to a point will fight in the upcoming battle.
Mm.
So they'll have this army, and they'll be getting support from these three settlements, right? So I've got no chance of winning this battle. Should we roll for allies and show the battle, or should I withdraw?
Um,
Let's
I
actually
would
show
go
the
for
let's show the battle.
let's
Yeah,
go for the
it's
battle.
yeah. I'll
Yeah,
have I'll
because
have no.
it's easy to run away.
Yeah. So I'll roll for allies in battle. You can see here it shows that armies that are
Mm.
at the point or are adjacent to the point and not involved in a siege will come and support. So you can see my army that's already at Panormus, the Carthaginians that have come there, and the support Carthaginians that are still in Segesta there. and then the Carthaginians can get allies from these adjacent settlements at and adjacent to the battle point. And if you hover one of these, you can see what sort of help they might receive. So you roll for allies. So they rolled well at Panormus, and actually they rolled very well. So they got a 9 and 2 8. So they're going to get mini men supporting. So they're going to have, they might have 3 times as many men in this battle. So
We're in trouble.
yeah,
But hey,
yeah,
you never know. You
yeah.
never
Well,
know.
yeah. It's important to emphasize that. So kind of on this operational level of war, you wouldn't just send one army out straight into enemy territory like this, because they'll have a massive advantage, both their armies and all this allied support. But it will be fun to see. And the allies, they tend to have a mixture of light foot, some cavalry, some medium foot. So if we look at the Carthaginian roster here, and let me actually, yeah, you can see how many more men they have.
Wow.
And let me,
Yes.
I can decrease the, one thing that people have been asking about, there is actually a minimum zoom feature here. So you can, it doesn't default to 0, but you can bring this all the way down to 0. You can scale UI down a little bit if you like. You can disable text pop-ups if you don't like those. There's a lot of these in-game features that people ask about, but or think are missing, but they're just in the settings here. You can also change a lot of the camera movement, like screen edge movement and such. But yeah, we can zoom down. We can see they've got their Italian armored cavalry support here from their allies. Some mercenary slingers there, some native Carthaginian troops. Here's like the Libyan spearmen and veterans, or the native Carthaginians still form the core of the infantry. But they've got so many support cavalry from their Italian allies. And in this campaign, it's the Sicilians who are more amenable to the Carthaginians, and the Greeks of Sicily who are more amenable to the Romans. But yeah, we do not have much of a chance here. But nonetheless, let's give it the old college try.
Can we pull in tight? Yeah.
Yeah,
Tight?
let's pull in tighter there. We can speed things up a bit until first contact. But
Yeah, I would literally pull everybody in tight and wait for them to arrive, and then kind of not panic, but look for best
it may be time to
opportunities.
panic. Yeah, if it were real life, it would be time to panic.
Actually, I would go for the set. You know what? I'd go for the center.
I'm gonna drive right up to the center. Okay, let's protect our cavalry behind our line here. Kind of set them to walk so they stay behind my infantry, and let's just.
There is a gap there.
Yeah, they will surround us if we do that, but that's gonna happen either way anyway. But yeah, some of these more asymmetrical scenarios you can get on the campaign map where, because of course, your operational level of war maneuvering can lead to advantage or disadvantage, as contrasted with the battle sim battles, which are more about more balanced and historical, challenging battles. All right, let's set him to walk to stay behind our line there. Let's check our command radius. Okay, got everybody in adjacency, most units in the command radius.
They've pulled their both outsides, but not actually turned in on us, which is a bit weird, because I thought they would have turned in on us.
They will likely once they've got us in an ongoing combats here. Let's bring him in. Let's do that. And they've already surrounded some of our velites there and routed them. See, now their cavalry is coming in. They've got so many more men that they're spoiled for choice in terms of flanking options. So they're definitely coming in on us here. Let's see, they're flanking here. My Triarii are a little forward there. I'd like to bring them back, but it's kind of too late. Could send this, well, I'm going to send my cavalry to try and counter their flank, but it's a bit late over there too. So I can take this flank. You can play the game like this as well with the kind of overlay.
Yeah, I think we messed up on this campaign. But but the thing is, though, it's good to show,
Yeah,
as we have
yeah, it
said
is.
before, because you don't want
It
to just
is.
keep winning.
Triarii flanked and routed there. Equite is still fighting. I can set them to recoil. But my
Mhm.
Astati are pushing back in the middle, but they won't be able to do that for long.
Long,
These
yeah.
Principes have been double flanked here and are about to be flanked again. Unfortunately for them, yeah, their cavalry is coming in. There's nothing I can do about this, really. Let's see, maybe I can take this flank here. I could at least damage a few enemies. After a battle, oh, we've lost. It's 56 to 6. After a
Yeah,
campaign battle, so we'll return to the campaign here.
yeah.
Routed units on either side take a roll to be destroyed, so you can see that here. Triarii is destroyed. Principe is rolled well, survived. Velite is destroyed. So I have lost a few units. The AI only had one unit that routed and they rolled to survive, so they took no losses. And you can see here the outcome. They won, so they stay at Panormus. So they've driven me out of Panormus, and then I have to withdraw to my previous point at Himera there. Let's see. Let's do. Let's go ahead and withdraw a little bit again, so that we've got some. Because if they attack me here, I'll have allied support from 2 settlements.
Yeah, exactly. I was just going to say, I would just roll back and then hopefully we've got support around us because they are going to charge because they've got greedy now.
Yeah, they've gotten greedy. They've come for me. So now we'll see in this battle.
Yeah.
We'll have a second battle here. So now it's their 1 army against my 1 reduced army, but I may have some allies. So let's see. You can also garrison or withdraw. So you can garrison inside of a settlement and then they'll besiege it. But we can look at that later. Should we fight this battle?
What we if we move back a step.
Oh. I have already
Okay, no, let's
rolled
go.
for allies.
Okay,
Yes.
then.
So one of these armies, the closer one, has sent me some support. So my somewhat
Good.
reduced army plus some support should be at least roughly equal to this Carthaginian army.
Oh, on that picture, by the way, I found 2 more men that keep looking that are looking at us.
Yeah. Yeah, the more you look at that picture, the more you see.
Yeah, there's actually 3 of the guys looking at us. No, this looks more favorable.
Yeah, so it looks like my Greek allies have provided me with some light peltast and some medium foot peltast. So that's good. That kind of fills my line out there because I had lost a lot of my light foot. It's very important to have some skirmishers to screen for you. Let's see. Medium foot peltast can't hold a line quite as well as heavy foot, but they can shoot, which is nice. Okay. They do have more. Do a little bit of an oblique advance there. They may have something over this hill here. Not certain. It might be out of line of sight there, but I don't think so. They're about equal. They've got way more lights.
I would have put a distraction in and put some horses running around the side, hoping that their AI would basically run to the point and then pull them back in.
Light cavalry are great for that, although I don't have any light cavalry reinforcements. The Romans don't have any native light cavalry, but Italian or Greek allies can potentially provide some.
Yeah.
But not today. The yeah, the allied reinforcement rolls are very kind of tabletop-y, where there's a certain degree of randomization, a certain degree of rationality to what units they provide for you to support. Roman cavalry not as good as Carthaginian cavalry, although their army here doesn't have any. So I should be able to get around, flank them once they're engaged, and that should work out well for me. Go ahead and send my 1 cavalry unit that doesn't have a general. He's a little more disposable. I'll keep this one with the general behind a bit.
Yes, I would, because you don't want him running too far out.
Their spear veterans were goaded by these Greek peltasts and ended up charging into the unit next to them. So they've been goaded into breaking their line up a little there, which should be a good advantage for me. Actually, let's take this this gap in the line here, and we'll be able to take this flank. So this battle we should be able to win pretty easily, I think. Close charges you can take immediately, so we should rout these Libyan spearmen who already dropped. They'd previously dropped from shooting from these peltasts. Tell these Principes to fall back, actually. So they may flank my Principes here. It's always a danger of flanking the enemies. You may be flanked yourself in turn. But I should be good. Light's still shooting, doing a lot of casualties, but things are looking much better for us. This cavalry pursuing here may pursue into its own unit and recoil, may pursue into charge, yeah. It's a good feature as a cavalry unit can break an enemy, pursue them, and then charge immediately into the next enemy. So basically roll a line up here. I'm rolling up the enemy line. Actually, I may bring my peltast back to the center.
How are we doing on numbers?
It's looking good. We've routed a few of their units. They haven't routed any of ours. I think this will go our way pretty quickly. We're probably going to get a chain route here of 2 or 3 units.
If they lose this battle and run away, and we've taken, does that affect the next campaign that they may engage with us? Because their numbers have reduced from the previous campaign.
Yeah, the AI does have broader context like that, and no, my army's now weaker. I've recently lost a battle. They'll likely withdraw to friendly territory or seek out allied armies for support. They were a little bit too eager to pursue us this time, and that's caught back up with them. So there's a lot of kind of vicissitudes of warfare like that in the campaign where things can go one way or the other. There are, of course, also reinforcements in the planning season, and you can sometimes randomly roll for mercenary recruitment during the campaigning season as well. So that should be the end of that battle. We did have 1 unit rout, and we had 1 unit wavering. So we could potentially lose those Principes, but it depends on how we roll. We've broken 4 of their units, so we've damaged them quite a lot. If an army is damaged enough, it can actually disband if they take too many casualties.
Oh wow!
So we won the battle. And he rolled to survive. Let's see, we've destroyed 1 of their Libyan spearmen permanently. Other units just damaged. Great. So you can see both armies reduced a little.
Are you gonna pull back again?
I might move south here and try and take some of this more Greek territory. If you take Syracuse, you can get some benefits from that. Some interesting special support units, Syracuse and hoplites and such. Okay, I just rolled to move there. See, they're going to fall back and do some diplomacy. Take some settlements through diplomacy, which is probably wise. Not be so aggressive. I'll do the same. It helps to move armies up to improve your diplomacy rolls. So I'll march him here, and then I'll be adjacent to a few extra points I can roll for. He's withdrawing there to friendly territory to protect his damaged army.
Yeah, because we didn't move, but we didn't attack. So
yeah,
they left that space open.
Yeah, early in the campaign, and they've just suffered a defeat. They're not going to be aggressive immediately again. So it opens up some time for just some diplomacy rolls. And you can see we're on turn 18 out of 20 here. May move and continue.
Oh,
almost joined his ally there. And let's do diplomacy on this last turn of ours. They'll do a little diplomacy. They took a city. Great. So season ended. When the season ends, you can first use your momentum. We've built up a few momentum, 2.
Yeah.
And so we can use that for free off-season diplomacy rolls. So let's see, +1, +1. There's a good chance. Here's a +4. We've got an adjacent army. It's amenable to us. This would be a good one. No effect. But we've got another momentum. We could roll again. Still no effect.
No effect. The numbers are not on our side now.
Not on our side there. Yeah, but let's see. Here's the reinforcement roll. So because we've taken losses, we can reinforce this army. So you can roll, potentially get no reinforcements, a few, or a large amount. And if you get enough, you can
Mhm.
actually roll a new army if you've lost armies in the past. 3 new units, Principes, Estade, Velites, and you can see those added to this army
Good
here. So
numbers.
we've reinforced,
Our
yes.
numbers, our numbers, as I say, our numbers are back.
Yeah. So we're back to the campaigning season. So we can march around. Let's march down to let's actually besiege Leontini here because they won't be as friendly or amenable to diplomacy. But if you besiege a settlement, it will go straight to your ownership, even if it's owned by the enemy. Actually, if you win the siege, and sieges, your rolls get better as you keep besieging the same settlement over and over.
Mhm.
So let's siege this. 0 modifiers. Didn't succeed, but on the next siege
No.
roll, oh, we may be attacked again. They are coming for us. It is a war focused sort of
Yeah.
game, so we'll definitely get a lot of battles. Should we garrison? Let's garrison.
Yes.
I want to
I
focus on the siege.
yeah.
We'll garrison here. And they may besiege us while we're sieging down here. Let's see if we can finish this siege and then maybe go. We've taken it, great. And then next turn we can try and move to the defense of our allies there. And let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have to do 6 moves. We could potentially do 1, 2, 3. Potentially do a few less if instead we tried to do a fleet move. But there's not really a close port either. But we could try that. Let's see what they're going to besiege us here. Yeah, and I lost 1 unit to siege attrition, and the siege continues. Let's see if I can't move quickly. Oh, good. We got to move and continue. Okay. I'm going to try and get up there quickly with a risky fleet move to rescue my army before it's destroyed by attrition. Lost another unit to attrition, so let's get up there quickly. Roll for a fleet move. Success. Arrived as planned. They're going to besiege us again. Oh man, and you see they've got 2 prior attempts, so their siege rolls are getting better and better. Hopefully we will get there in time. Perfect. We rolled to move again.
That was a good. That was a good number.
Yeah, that one's a big deal because now we've gotten here in time to relieve the force. And they've elected to retreat, but they were only able to retreat into our territory. They can't retreat through us, so we came from Himera. So now we've really got them on the ropes here because you see this little foot symbol. That means they're now out of supply. They've withdrawn into enemy territory. They're surrounded by enemy territory because they couldn't go the other way. So now we've really got them in a position where we could actually destroy them pretty readily. So let's follow up and we'll fight them. And you can't retreat multiple turns in a row. Your army doesn't have the fatigue for that. So they will have to fight us. We've gotten a few support allies from 2 settlements. And we've got 2 armies coming in against their 1. So we should be at huge advantage here.
Couldn't we call up the other army that was still left at the previous place?
Yeah. The garrisoned army is joining us. Yeah, because they were adjacent and no longer besieged, which means they can provide. So we've got a lot of men here. You can see we've got 2 generals. Each army has 1 general, so you can get 2 generals in 1 fight by having keep artillery in reserve by having 2 armies supporting each other. Let's do. I've got a lot of Greek cavalry support, so that's good. Let's see. So I can actually match the Carthaginian cavalry there. I could even use a few velites to kind of screen my cavalry.
Oh, they've not got a lot actually. By the look of it.
They've just got that 1 army that was besieging my 1 army, but they've maneuvered badly there. They didn't think I rolled well to march quickly, and I caught them unawares. They had to withdraw from my relief force, but the only way they could withdraw was into enemy territory. You can also see because they were out of.
Yeah, I was gonna say because they can't go backwards, basically.
Right, yeah, they can't march through where I came from. Yeah. So because they're stuck in my territory and they're out of supply, you see how it says below average rather than average, or their veterans are only above average rather than veteran. Basically, the reason for that is that out of supply debuffs the quality rating of the unit. So in addition to having fewer units, they're also lower quality, so they will have a bad time of this battle. Let's charge those skirmishers there. My velites. You can charge with Lightfoot, other Lightfoot. Let's surround and destroy as many as we can. Lightfoot combats, though, will be broken up by heavy infantry marching through them if they're not yet resolved. Because both sides will just withdraw, so... Here's a kind of formation preview, and then you can rotate that formation preview as your... Some people have asked about that group moving formation preview. You can group units, and you can group move them together.
I was going to say, did you want to move your generals up a little bit? Because they seem to be left behind a bit.
Yeah, I'm going to move... be able to move this cavalry into flank pretty soon. You want to think about getting your flanks in early because, of course, you have to plan ahead of time with the courier system, which makes it feel a little more realistic, a little more satisfying when things come together. Yeah, I think we'll definitely win this one pretty easily. They do have this sacred band in the middle there that will hold for a while, but the rest of their units won't. Be good to rout as many of these. The more you rout before it's over and they're considered to have withdrawn, the more you can destroy on the campaign map. Yeah, it looks like they're at 57% to 2. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. How did we lose? Shaky.
Oh, good to see it. Let's see. I don't think that any of our units routed. They've lost a lot. They've lost a lot of their units have been destroyed.
Yeah. We didn't lose any. We got a few two shaky ones. But the rest were good.
So they've had to withdraw further. So they're really caught in a bad position now. We could probably follow up and march to destroy them, actually. They're desperately trying to besiege a settlement there to get... I'll bring up my further away one to get support. They want to besiege this settlement to... then they could get supplies, but things aren't looking good for them. Let's see. Turn 17 here. We could probably... They've elected to withdraw because they didn't withdraw the previous turn, so they're able to. But they're unlikely to roll well enough to take one of these settlements, especially because out-of-supply armies get a negative modifier on their siege rolls. Oh, but the season's ended. So everyone will return to winter quarters now, which will be the closest allied settlement, and then we'll return to rolling for diplomacy and reinforcements and such. So I'll roll for diplomacy. We'll have a few rolls here. We've got a decent amount of momentum built up from winning battles. Let's see. There's a +4 Greek city amenable to us. But yeah, you can see that this campaign provides good context for battles without being a huge time sink in and of itself. It's more about this kind of... The battles are the centerpiece, and this is kind of context. So they rolled for good reinforcements, Scutari, javelin men, some slingers. They've restored their army a little bit. And then I can roll for reinforcements to replace losses in one of my armies. Cool, 3 units.
Oh, good number.
Yeah.
Banging.
Yeah. And so ultimately the goal is... And both of these empires here are fully capable of providing reinforcements when needed, but the goal here is more to get to and take the enemy capital. If we were to try and just make a beeline for it and take it now, with a bold fleet move, we'd be out of supply and surrounded by enemy armies and attacked by theirs, so you have no chance. Plus, the capital has a capital garrison army as well. So you really do have
You
to.
must have been really. I was going to say you must have been reading my mind then, because I was thinking maybe we should go the ships across and cut across, because
Yeah,
that army's probably. And then you go, no, I wouldn't do that. And I
yeah,
was sitting
yeah.
there thinking,
You'd be out
I
of
would have
supply.
done that.
Yeah, and also when you initially fleet land, you get a similar quality debuff from just having landed. So doing a beach landing in enemy territory at their capital, surrounded by their settlements and armies, you're looking at an impossible battle to just try and do that. So what you want to do is build support, work your way across the island, and besiege these settlements, and finally surround and cut off their capital. Rather than doing, I mean, you can attempt bold moves, but it's unlikely
Yeah,
to
I'd have
work
gone.
out for you.
I would have gone with the bold move then, to be honest, because I'd have been cocky about it.
Let's see if we've got some good diplomacy rolling here. I'm gonna roll maybe for a Kragus there. We can take that. That will be a good kind of forward base for us. They may be moving in to besiege us though.
Mm.
Let's see. I'll do a
See,
few rolls
see
here.
now that's
Taking it.
why. See now that's why I would have moved my with fleet up to that top area there
Yeah,
to block that off. I'm just saying that's what I would have done.
it can work out certainly. Yeah, the bold moves can work out. You have to be confident on the tactical level. See, they've taken Chimera from us, but
Mhm.
let's see. And of course, with the way so I could move again, but that would be foolish because I would have my
No,
one
no,
army
that's
against
foolish.
his. Yeah, so I'm going to end turn there. Let's see what they're going to do.
Mhm.
See, they're going to march. They're going to be aggressive with us. So this should result in another battle here. Turn 10. And you can see how you kind of make gradual progress through diplomacy, sieges, battles, building up momentum, reinforcing our army losses. And over the course of the years of the campaign, you push back the enemy or are pushed back yourself. Um, do
It's a
we
beautiful setup, I have to say.
Yeah, I think it really provides interesting and historical context for battles. And once we've
Mm.
really worked everything out with this campaign and localized it, of course, we'll be able to expand pretty readily into different theaters of war because the way it's set up is quite modular. So you swap in the map and you swap in the different settlement names and you change which two factions are fighting and what units are available, what allies the settlements provide, and you could easily do, you could do some of the wars of the Diadochi in Anatolia. You could do the Peloponnesian War in Greece. There's all kinds of theaters of operation. You could do Caesar's campaigns in Gaul.
Mm.
So I think this really provides a lot of replayability and interesting context because there are a lot of players who love Strategos just for the battle simulator, which is the original core of the game and what it's built around.
Yeah.
But there are many players for whom historical, broader, strategic, or operational level of war context is essential. And so we've come in a little bit later in development with these maps for those players, especially who want that context that
I
really
have to
keeps
say,
them invested.
I love this style of map. This so basically makes me excited. It's just like it's an endless war, basically.
Yeah, lots of war, lots
Until
of
you, it's
the stakes are there. You feel like the stakes, like, oh, if I
yeah.
lose this battle, they'll besiege this settlement, then I'll lose my support, and
Mhm.
I may lose an army. Yeah, it definitely provides a kind of psychological investment um, that you may not get from standalone battles or from the text-based campaigns. The text-based campaigns being more strictly specific historical battles that provide written context, but here is a little more sandboxy.
Oh yeah, totally. And on that note, I suggest you have a glass of water because I can hear you slightly croaking.
Okay,
And that's the first look at one of the maps, everybody. Part two will follow this. I don't know when, I don't know how, but it will happen. And that will have another look at something different in the actual game. But this excites me, and I think this should excite everyone who actually loves these sorts of games. So thanks for that first one, man. That was brilliant. Let's
of
roll. Let's
course.
go and have some water, and then roll with the next one.
Sounds good.